TFC's rivalry week this week for MLS, guys going up against Montreal Impact. How much more special is a match when you're going up against your local rivals?
Yeah, these are always big games. I was speaking to somebody last week when they asked a similar question, and a lot of times these games, these rivalry games, when you get to a club, they're the first games that you hear the fans talk about. And so for me, that was certainly the case. When I got here, it was playoffs, 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 and Montreal, Montreal, Montreal. And so for us, they're big games, they're exciting games. We know that our fans will certainly be up for it. Montreal's obviously coming off of a little bit of a positive run, and so yeah, expect a good game.
How does the 401 Derby compare to perhaps some of the other derbies that you've played in, for example, Roma Lazio?
The main thing with a derby is it's the passion, the emotion of the fans, and what the game means to them. And so you can talk about different derbies, you can compare them, but at the end of the day, like I said, it's about the fans and their feelings towards the game and towards the other team. And so you have to always understand that, respect that, and know that those things will come together in a way to make an exciting game, a game that is, in a lot of ways is different than the rest.
To a certain extent, Montreal has been overlooked, but seems as though they're slowly creeping up the standings now, sitting in 5th place in the Eastern Conference. What do you view as their strength?
I think certainly they've found some confidence after their run in the Champions League earlier in the year. I think on their good days they're organized, they're hard to break down, and they have some guys in the attack who can make the difference on different days, whether it's Piatti, McInerney, we all know Damaduro well, and so as with any game, we feel like we've prepared in a good way. We understand the way that they're going to try to go about it, and we'll be ready to step on the field and do our best to impose what we want to do on them.
Greg confirmed that you and Josie are going to be leaving for the U.S. after the D.C. game, and Jonathan and Ashton are gone as well. So that's 4 starters who are going to be gone for quite a while. How do you think the team will adapt with 4 key starters going, and does the team have the depth to sort of get through it without those guys?
It is what it is, right? Part of playing in MLS, part of playing through the summer is these conflicts at times, especially with big tournaments. I've certainly been critical of the league and just of the scheduling in general over these FIFA windows, the shorter windows where now there's friendly dates or later in the fall qualifying dates, in terms of having to find better solutions so that guys aren't having to miss games to play with their national team. Obviously for tournaments like the Gold Cup or Confederations Cups or World Cups, there's not much you can do. It's part of playing in MLS, and it's part of it's all part of it when you have a league that plays through the summer. And so it's something that we've all known is coming. We've prepared for it. The coaches and Tim Bezbachenko have built the roster in a way that we can withstand that, and so it's exciting because there'll be a lot of guys who have been working hard and who have kept at it every day. Maybe not getting the chance that they've wanted just yet, but as the season wears on, and certainly in the month of July, we're going to need everybody.
It's rivalry week, not just for TFC, but for most teams around the league. Looking back at your career, is there a particular derby day that stands out as perhaps the most memorable?
They're all special. They really are. Obviously, when you talk about the U.S. national team, games against Mexico are just different. Earlier in my career, small Dutch club in the north of Holland, Heerenveen, playing against Groningen were always big games. Later Mönchengladbach against Cologne, Roma against Lazio, here Toronto against Montreal. They're fun games to play in, and so they all have their own feel. They're all a little bit different, but it doesn't change what they're about.
One more.
Have you been following the Women's World Cup at all? Yeah. What have you made of the U.S. and how they progressed through the quarters?
They're in the quarterfinal, which is all that matters. You know, you prepare for a World Cup for 4 years, and there's no predicting exactly how it's going to go. And so I'm proud of the way that they have moved, kept themselves going and advanced out of a difficult group. Took care of business last night and continue to get stronger as the tournament goes on.